then you're getting into handling the objections. So say you drop the investment, like you've done all the belief letter and you've done on the information gathering stage, and now it's time to handle the objections. So with the objections, it's really important to understand that all the objections potentially are covering up the real of their, inaction, right? So say, like, I would say pretty much all the objections are covering up uncertainty, only unless they really don't have the means to get your product. But you should have already known that on the information gathering stage. And only unless their support is not being supportive. So their board is not supportive, or their spouse is not supporting, or their co-founder is not supporting. But really, to go out of these objections, you need to sort of, like, I call it, button down the objections, right? So you get the first one, you pace it, and you then button it down. So the way to handle it is not jump into understanding the objection straight away. You need to pace it, and the pacing of the objection happens here. Once you drop the investment, so for example, the pitch done, you check the temperature, you're 100% certain that your prospect is bought into the process, you then pace them. And you use that by using the specific framing and the language patterns that are there to pace the objection. So the pacing exists to tie the prospect down on the process, and kind of like also stop and really understand where is all coming from, and discover the real objection. Because sometimes they're going to tell you that they don't have enough money, and what they actually don't have is they don't have the certainty to proceed with you. Sometimes they're going to tell you that it's their partner, but in the end of the day, they're just trying to cover up the real objection. So really tying down and pacing them happens within the phases. So, like, you can tie down through pacing it, and tying down through, like, saying, no problem, acknowledging it for a second. Say, let's pretend that, for example, money out of the question. How do you feel about the process specifically? Do you feel that ultimately this is something that you've been looking for to resolve X, which was your pain problem that you've been talking about? So, like, the prospect agrees, or the prospect doesn't agree, then you kind of, like, assess them on a scale of 1 to 10, and then really listen to their tonality. This is where all the answers are hiding, right? And then sort of, like, after that, you're leading them into the tying down number 2. So just to be clear, objection, like money aside, there is nothing that's keeping you from being less than 100% certain that this is exactly the point where you want to go, and where you want to, where you need to get in terms of getting to your desired outcome, right? And the prospect can potentially, agree, disagree, but then you lead into the conversation. So into that moment where you tell them, look, just to be clear, I think you're not in the more of a, like, how should I do it or should I do it state. You're more in, like, how exactly can I do this state, where, you're 100% certain that you want to do it, but it's all about the money, right? And this is where we paste the objection, we tie them down on the process already twice, where they said twice that, yes, this is really what they want to get to the desired outcome. And yeah, we're basically bringing up the level of uncertainty, where they are telling us, look, I know this is really not about the money. I'm actually not certain that I want to do this with you, and I'm actually not sure that I want to do this at all. So, look, what you can say is, just to be clear here, what's important for us is alignment. And look, if you come and do this with us, and we're going to roll up the sleeves, we're going to do our best, and you're going to tell me, like, look, there is a problem, you're going to raise your hand. Do you promise me that you're going to raise your hand and tell me that there is a problem so we can solve it out together? And, with you, working with you, fighting this fight with you, I just want to make sure that we have this alignment and that we're clear. Then, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 has been absolutely horrible, like, just get out of this call, and 10 being, okay, yes, let's do this. Where are you at exactly in this process? And the outcome is really that the prospect can tell you, like, look, I can give you 10, and you can just say, like, look, so this is just the money then, all this time, or just nerves and risks. And if they give you 8 or 9, obviously, like, switch on the consultant and, like, ask, like, why is it 9? Why is it 8? Tell me more. what exactly is keeping you and preventing you from being 100% certain and being a full 10. Like the outcome is that you potentially getting the real objection out there. And then if you get the vague response, listen to the tonality, because if you get the vague response, this is where you understand that this is where uncertainty is hiding, right? And if they give you 7 or below, I mean, you didn't build up the real value, so that's your fault. But you get the real objection, asking them exactly why 7, and then obviously then you handle the objection. Like just try and play it on the honesty. Like, can you be honest with me? Let's have an honest conversation. Like, no worries. Like, can I just ask you an honest question? Like, if you're you know, anytime people less than 100% certain, this is the right thing to ask. Like, I just want to know if it's one of 3 things here. Like, you're 100% certain that this is something that will help you to get to your desired outcome, and this will work for you, or you don't trust me or the company, and you think that I'm going to take your money and escape to Mexico, or you know that this is going to work and you trust me, but this is just a matter of making it work financially or making it work with your spouse, right? Where do you feel you are at on the process? So, yeah, it's really then you understand if this is the financial or support objection, and you help them to overcome this objection. So, like, if it's a finance objection, we are addressing it with an open wallet framework. Open wallet is really coming from like more of a B2C approach, but is really used across all industries. And like, if they don't have the money, it's a condition. It's really the condition that they cannot buy something, and you sort of uncovering the resources with an open wallet objection. Like, tell me exactly how is your company doing this quarter. Tell me how much money did you dedicate to resolving this problem. How much money did you make last month? And this is really where you understand, okay, like the person really doesn't have resources, and you can offer them a payment plan, for example. If you are offering discounts, I typically don't offer that. So like, you are uncovering their resources and pitching them this payment plan. And if they're not open about their resources, you either try to have an honest conversation, because like, look, I want to, like, what's important for us is alignment, and I can't work with you unless we have that alignment. We need to be honest and have this honest conversation. I understand that this is difficult. So there are really 2 options there. You either get them red-handed. I mean, they didn't really want to tell you that the real issue there was the uncertainty, that they don't really want to go with your solution because they're really not certain that you are the best solution on the market, or they're just really shy, and obviously then you kind of like settle them with a payment plan. On another side, there's a support objection. And support is really simple. Like, you want to tie them down in the process. Obviously, we already understood them, and you need to understand if this is a respect thing. So you clearly need to understand, like, is this just going and asking the co-founder for the permission, or is this a permission thing? So respect is I'm just honoring, and we don't really have to have this champion, and like the person is already sold 100%, and the permission is where the person really wants to go and ask for the permission to do something. And the permission is really dangerous, because like here we need to ask if we can have the champion on the call. And if we can't have the champion on the call, you need to stop here and schedule the second call. If you cannot schedule the second call and the person wants to pitch themselves, you need to put them in a state where they go to the co-founder, board and stuff like that and say, look, John, there are 2 options here. And option number 1, you go there and you ask them, guys, can I do this? We had all these problems on the table for 20 years, and can I please go ahead and work with Val? She can solve our issues. Or you can go there and you can put your fist on the table and say, like, look, guys, we've been facing this problem for the last 20 years, and I'm telling you, I found the real fix. And Val is going to help me to do that. Tell me, are you with me on this or not? And this is how you are asking for the respect versus the permission. So, John, which of these 2 guys do you want to be there, really? And this is really the way to handle those objections and ask the right questions. And sometimes the situation is going to be that John is going to say, look, actually, I'm just not certain that I want to do this because I've been just burned before with this multiple times. And this is the uncertainty objection. And this objection really comes out of the situation where you didn't drive enough value in the belief ladder, in the information gathering stage of the call, where you want to address it by just simply saying, I understand that it's risky, and I understand that you've tried something before and it failed, but tell me honestly, is it just nerves? And the prospect will tell you yes. And you say, great, because nerves mean that you are doing something meaningful for the business. And it's absolutely normal to feel nervous. So, look, if I'm going to tell you that we're going to roll up the sleeves and we're going to do this work with you and we're going to walk this walk with you. Like, honestly, what else? What else is stopping us from doing this? So your opportunity to close the uncertainty objection is only with tying it down to risk and fear. Because if you won't tie it to risk or fear, there is no way you can handle it because it's too late to build up the value of your solution. So all this, I just want to think about it. Can you send me this in the email? But what if it doesn't work? It sounds good, but I need more information. I don't have time to implement. I've tried something similar and it didn't work. I want to speak to our clients first. All of this is the uncertainty where we need to tie it down to risk and fear. And this is how you handle your objections. And once you're done handling the objections, there are 3 ways to cut it to the chase. The 3 frameworks of objection reframes. So you get the truth hammer, which is one of my favorite. Truth hammer, where you're asking for the permission. Hey, John, I appreciate you sharing, but can I ask you for an honest question? John is going to let you ask the honest question. You're asking the honest question. Like, look, just tell them what's on your heart, what's really going on there. John, you're just done telling me that, you've been in this situation for 20 years, and I know for a fact that our solution is clearly the fastest and the most unique and smoothest way to get you to the desired outcome. Like, tell me what's been going on for real in your head. And another one is KGB. I really like to use KGB one. So you clarify and understand. Like twice, you can tie them down on the process. You isolate the objection afterwards. Okay, like you're 100% certain. Just isolate them on saying like, okay, is this finance, is spouse? Are you truly uncertain? And then you appreciate and reassure, like, thanks for sharing, John. Can I ask you an honest question? You're asking for the permission again. And after you've done the permission, you're doing the accountability. John just done telling you how for 20 years he has been struggling with this issue. And now, bring back that accountability. John, you just done telling me that. And now you're telling me an absolutely different thing. Like, what's really going on? And you transform the meaning of what he just said back into what happened in the beginning of the call. And time to decide is the step where John needs to make the decision. Because in the end of the day, it doesn't really matter for me. It's what's at stake for you here right now. And the third one is the good cop negotiation. And this is a reframing where you also clarify and understand this, like the stage where John is in, appreciate and acknowledge him sharing that, you state your position, and then you ask them how they would like to proceed, like clearly as that. For example, John asked you for a guarantee. Look, Val, it's a really great solution, but do you actually have any guarantee? I'd say, John, I cannot even guarantee that I can wake up tomorrow. How can I guarantee you that anything is going to work? But what I can guarantee you is that we're going to roll up the sleeves, and we're going to fight that fight with you, and you promise me to raise your hand and tell me when you need the help. This is what I guarantee you. So how does that sound, John? Are you ready to do some homework? This is what I mean. So, so those are the reframes, and this is how you handle the objections. You're reframing, and you're working with the state of your prospect. But to work with the state of your prospect, you need to influence their state. And in order to influence on a call, you need to be in a high performance energy. Okay, guys, we just done recording the Sales Crush Top course, and if you want to learn more about all these things that we just recorded for you, click the link below and get the course, okay? And if you have any questions, just contact me straight away, and we're cooking a lot of cool stuff that is coming out really, really soon. So follow Voost, follow me. I'm Val, and I'm ready to help you close all your sales.